Hello.
Hi, Kjeld.
Hello.
So he is. It's okay. So Kjeld here is an expat who has lived in Singapore for
8 years.
8 years. Wow! And he's going to share with us some of his experiences.
Meet Kjeld, a Filipino expat living here in Singapore. Just like many who come to the Lion City, his story began with a simple goal: to build a better life. But as you will see, his journey turned into something much deeper, one that reveals what life in Singapore is really like for expats.
So Kjeld, which part of the Philippines are you from?
I'm from Manila, Sabrina.
Oh wow! And what made you decide to come to Singapore?
I think just to make my answer very to answer it easily, I think I just overall, right, I just want to improve my quality of life back home. And obviously, I move here because opportunity is here and I want to earn more money. Yeah.
So was it difficult to find jobs in Philippines?
I would say it's not difficult, but and I think in terms of in my industry, I think here the opportunity is really big in terms of fitness industry, and I'll be more exposed in in many. I believe I will be exposed in many line of in my industry. For example, people coming from different countries, because I believe Singapore, right? Like people coming from the US, coming from Australia, coming from different parts of the world.
I see.
They'll come here and do a seminar, whatever. So I believe.
So how does life compare between the Philippines and Singapore?
So I think, that's a very good question. I think overall, right, like growing up in Philippines, I can clearly tell a big difference in terms of like the quality of life. I think that's number one. Like small things, like I said, opportunity in terms of monetary as well, and in terms of the overall safety. I think that's the most important to me, the safety here.
Yeah.
So I think I think the overall convenience in Singapore is completely out of this world. Like, I grew up in Philippines for like the past 20, before I moved to Singapore, 24 years.
Okay.
Right, and I can tell the gap between back home and in Singapore. Yeah.
So you mentioned safety as one of the things that's different. So how would you rate Singapore on a scale of 1 to 10 on the safety level? Like 1 being the least safety, and of course 10 being the most.
Wow. If I'm really being honest with you, it's 10, Sabrina. Because why? Because like what I've said, right? I grew up in Philippines.
Yeah.
As you know, Manila can be a little bit dangerous for people, especially when you don't know anyone. And like to me here, like I don't, like at least for the past 8 years, in my experience, I've never encountered any like dangerous encounters, like stuffs like something bad that will happen to me. So I would say, comparing back home. Yeah.
Okay, so you could like go out at night, in the middle of the night, or like the wee hours of the morning, without having to care too much.
Correct. Exactly.
All right. So how has your journey been like living in Singapore? Besides, of course, you mentioned work and then, the monetary aspect of it and the safety, but like overall in quality of life.
So I think like it changes over the past 8 years that I live here. So obviously, when I first came to Singapore, I'm still trying to build my career. I'm trying to build myself. I'm trying to build, like the kind of like standard of living that I want to have here. So at least, like on the first 2 years, I would say it's not a struggle, of course, but like it changes every year. I would say it changes every span of at least every 2 years, I would say. So I would say, like overall, the quality of life that I have right now is beyond than what I expected. if you're gonna ask me 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm happy, really.
You're happy. So
Yeah.
you're happier now than 8 years ago.
Oh yes, oh yes, of course, yes, of course. Because like what I've said, right? Like I
Yeah.
never thought I would have this kind of like quality of life, you know. Like not saying I'm like, you know, the top guys who earn a lot of money. It's not about that, but like I think overall, I would say comfortable.
Okay.
You know, like I can buy the things that I want. You know, I have a roof in my head. You know, I have a good work, safe. And I think more importantly is I think this is the safety.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like considered getting citizenship in Singapore?
Oh, okay. So like, so it's funny because like a few weeks ago I've been talking to my friends. Then they asked me, you know, why don't you try applying for a PR? So to me, I haven't really tried it, but that's one thing that I really wanna do. But I just need to take the step for me to you know, like for me to able to try at least. Yeah. But like if you're gonna ask me, do I want to have like, you know, a PR or like citizenship? Of course, because like I believe there's no place like this. I mean, I treat this as my home.
Okay.
You know, and I grew up here, like not literally grew up here, but like I believe it makes me a stronger person.
So have you even like searched on like how to become a PR?
Oh.
Have you looked through the process? Do you know?
Yeah. So I've gone through the process, and you know, I'm just reading and all this. You know, like what do they need? What kind of like documents they will ask me? Yeah, documentation or like, you know, my background, everything. I've gone through it, but like I'm just like haven't had the first step to actually do it, you know.
Okay. So when you travel, like during your 8 years that you've been here,
Yeah.
I'm sure you traveled like around, or even going back home. Were there times that you found yourself missing Singapore? Were you excited to come back?
Yes. So like it's funny, right? Because like, I mean, I grew up in Philippines, right? And like every time I'll go back home in Philippines, obviously, you know, with my family and you know, my daughter is living in Philippines. But like there will come a point, right? Like I want to go back, you know, like I miss my life in Singapore, because like I believe like what I've told you, right? Like this country, right, teaches me a lot of things, you know, how to live my life, how to be independent, that's second, right? And how to, you know, how to be a stronger version of myself overall, and how to deal with different types of people, right? Because here I encountered so much nationalities, right? It's not only locals, but I also like you will meet some like people from other countries, Europe, Australia, US, all this. So I believe the question you asked me, yes, I do miss Singapore every time I'm somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it difficult for you to make friends in Singapore as compared to Philippines?
No. I think like, I mean, me as a person, like even back home before, like I always like try to, I would say I'm a social butterfly. So I can like be with a group, I can be with different type of people. And, you know, I'm not particular about like who I meet. I can be with different types of sorts of people. So I don't think it's an issue for me. Yeah.
So do you think Singapore is boring, or is it misunderstood? Like, you know, there's some people who say, oh, there's nothing to do in Singapore. What is it? It's such a small city.
I think, you know, like it's a very personal opinion, right? Like, you know, because like to me, I mean, I'm not like praising Singapore for me to have a PR or whatnot, but like, you know, like I think I don't find it boring, because personally, like I don't like to hang out like every day, and like the places I want to go is just like same place almost every day, right? Like, or every weekend, say for example, I'll go for a walk, I'll go for MBS on, you know, and go to cafe after, and or like go to the gym, all this. I'm not really particular about like, you know, changing of like environment every now and then, so I don't find it boring overall. I mean, it's okay.
So have you taken the chance to actually visit the Southeast Asian countries while being here, besides of course going back, like even going to Bintan or Bali, taking the cruise?
Yes. So actually, like, I had the opportunity, you know, like ever since I moved to Singapore, I had the opportunity to, you know, see in other countries as well, Southeast Asia countries as well, like been to Bali, been to Indonesia, haven't been to Thailand, been to Taiwan, all this. Yeah, but like, you know, it's very interesting because I noticed a difference between Asian countries, like in terms of culture, and you know.
What kind of differences?
I think it's more of like, you know, like I would say the overall safety. I would say, like, I think that's the number one thing. Like, you know, like for example, like in Singapore, like what we talking about just now, like when you, let's say, going back home late at night, you know, you're here, like, oh, you're not thinking about like, you know, you're gonna get robbed or what, you know, or you're gonna get, you know, your phone gonna get snatched or whatever. But like, whereas like in Bali, for example, you know, going back into the villa right after the party, I need to be very mindful of like, you know, my stuffs, you know. I think that's how I see in terms of differences.
Okay.
I think the main thing is the safety.
Living here in Singapore for like 8 years, would you say that Singapore is a very expensive place to live in?
I think yes, it is. Yes, it's a very expensive place to live in, but it's also kind of correlates, like what I've told you earlier, it correlates with your standards of living. Like, how do you want to live your life in Singapore? Like, you know, for example, you know, like going out for lunch, do you want to eat, like, do you want to buy like the hawker center, for example, because there's a hawker center option, right? Or you can get a chicken rice for like $4, or you want to go to the mall and spend like $20 for a meal. So there's two types of like, you know, living, or like I'm just saying in the context of meal, for example. So it depends on how much you wanna splurge, or like what kind of standard you wanna do.
Okay. So how much do you think would a realistic budget be for someone that's living here?
Like budget wise?
Yeah. So let's say a monthly budget, including rent, food, you know, electricity.
Wow.
Okay, maybe we just stick to the food then.
Okay.
Like a weekly, maybe. A weekly,
weekly
budget, yeah.
I think for me, like, you can survive weekly here, at least, you know, 80 to 100, I would say.
On food alone?
Yeah.
If you're eating out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's our time with Kjeld. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. So if you are interested in sharing your story on Explore with Kojo, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as possible, and like, you'll be featured on our channel. So until then, share, like and subscribe. See ya guys!